Welcome to HTSOnDemand.com. HTS stands for the Harmonized Tariff Schedule, and we are about to take a walkthrough of this demo of HTS On Demand, and we will discuss, first of all, why this tool is important and to whom it is important to. If you are an importer, an exporter, a buyer, a seller, a purchasing agent, or a retailer, this tool is a must-have. Why? Because it can serve to increase your profitability, it serves to protect your bottom line, and it helps you to comply with international and domestic government agency laws such as Customs and Border Protection by simply knowing the correct harmonized schedule tariff number or Schedule B number, if this is an export, that is applicable to a specific product. This information, the HTS I'm referring to, can be known not only at the time of shipping, and it should be known at the time of shipping, but also it should be known before deciding to purchase a particular product, as it serves the best interest of your business to know. So much depends on ensuring that the most accurate harmonized tariff schedule or Schedule B number is applied to your product, namely customs duties and taxes. You see, an incorrect HTS code, in other words, a harmonized tariff schedule code, will result in the overpayment or underpayment of duties and taxes. When this happens and it is discovered, monetary penalties can potentially be assessed against an importer who misclassifies a product. This further subtracts from your business profits. Additionally, a misclassified product may result in customs delays at the border. This means that your product cannot reach its intended destination on time. Loss of time equals loss of profits, as well as your competitive edge in the marketplace. HTS On Demand was designed to arm importers, exporters, buying agents, retailers, and anyone else involved in the import-export decision-making process with the knowledge needed to make quality purchasing, retail, and import-export compliance decisions. It is a resource that anyone involved directly or indirectly in international trade cannot afford to do without. HTS On Demand is far more than an HTS code repository or lookup service. It is a research service which ensures that the HTS data provided for a particular product is the closest match possible given the description data provided by you, the user. What is even better is it is simple in design and it only requires data entry know-how to use it. In other words, if you can type, you can use it. Hard to believe? Well, let's take a look at the following. To first of all request an HTS number, simply click Request HTS Number. A form will come up, and I want you to notice something before I get into the completion of the form. You will notice throughout there are items that have an asterisk next to them. This means that you can essentially skip every square on this page if need be, except those items. If you happen to attempt to submit data to us and a field that has this asterisk in it is left blank, you will receive an error message and we will not receive your request. So let's get started. Again, we're looking at Request HTS Code or Schedule B number now. So first we go to the first name field, and I'm just going to key in anything. I'm going to call it John. Last name Doe, and then we're going to indicate the city, and we're going to make up a city. We'll say New Ava, and select the state from the drop down. Well, we'll choose today Arizona, and if you want to, you can key in an address. I'm going to put in anything, ABC Lane, and a zip code. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'm going to put in an email address, and we'll make up something here. johndoe@yahoo.com, and if you like a work phone or a number that we can contact you back at, we'll just make up something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, and you don't need to put in the dashes. The system will populate that for you. Here is where the form gets very, very detailed. In this field here, it is entitled Industry Type. Here you list the industry or the business that you are in. We've given some examples such as apparel, automotive. I will actually make up something. I'm going to say you're into the toy business. This field, upload additional product information, is very key, because if you have things such as JPEGs, blueprints, sketches, and things that would help us to better understand your products, this would be a great area to provide that information. Also, we have here the date of request. That way you can submit that. Even though there's no asterisk there, we will receive a timestamp of when you submitted your request to us. Then we get down to the next question, which asks if you uploaded additional product details such as images, info, etc. that are not included in this form. And you would select here yes or no, and that allows us to actually look for that additional information that you've provided to us. Here is an important field. It asks for your preferred method for delivering your HTS or your Schedule B number. And so I'm going to click here, and you see that you have three options. You have the FTP, where you can upload an FTP file to us, or we can return an FTP file to you, or you can receive your information by email or by fax, just by simply clicking here to let us know how you would like to receive your data. And in this field here, you provide us with the information that we need in order to do so. We get down here to this area. This is the HTS classification request for single items. You go into here and you begin to give us answers to those questions if they are pertinent and applicable to your item. Is your item for retail sale? This is a simple yes or no field. I'm going to indicate yes. Your product ID number, this is the ID number that, identifies your product. Some companies use part numbers, some companies use SKU numbers, and so forth. Some just make up something that helps them to identify a product as it is going out. Here in this field, your product description, and here in this field, you provide common description or aliases. For example, we may call something or you may refer to something as a bicycle, but maybe an alias out in the industry may be a scooter or of some sort. Use this field to indicate this information. Here, this is also an important field for us. What is the item's essential character? An essential character describes the nature, the use, or the prominent features of an item. And so as much as you can give us in this area, the better, because it will help us to make a very educated decision, in order to determine what HTS number most accurately describes your product. What is the item made of? Very important. What is the material composition? That is what it's asking. In this field, it's asking for the material breakdown and for you to list them all by percentage. For example, if you were importing or exporting a pair of trousers and those trousers were made of, let's say, 50% cotton, 30% nylon, and 20% silk, you would want us to know that, because classification for that item will be driven by the item that predominates by weight of a particular material. If this is an item that is a part of something or an accessory of something, we would need to know that here to provide that detail here. Are these sets or kits? In many cases, sets or kits perhaps do not have items that prevail in essential character, so we will need to know all components of that set or kit in order to accurately classify each item, or to determine, in fact, if there is something that predominates by weight, by value, by use, by nature, that sort of thing, that determines essential character. What if your item is linked to tariff data that requires you to provide dimensions? Here is where you would need to put that information. That will be very helpful to us if known. Now we're in the HTS classification request submission area for multiple products. And in this particular area, you just simply click the form. I'll click here to bring it up. And this is what the form looks like. And this will allow you that when you're not requesting an HTS code for a single item, it allows you to put in information for multiple items. And as you will see each field labeled with what we would need to know in order to classify. So I'm going to go ahead and close that out. But once you've completed that form, you simply use this here area after you've saved it to wherever you want to save it and locate it on your computer. You would then click browse here and locate your document and download the document so that you can then send it to us. Here's date of requests in this area, and so you indicate what date that you're submitting your request. And then now we are in the biller or subscriber information field. And as you can see, it asks if you are a current subscriber. Of course, if you are, you indicate yes or no, or if you're using this system just as one time and you're indicating that you're paying per usage. That means you do not want to be a subscriber. You just like to use, maybe test run this module, or you just don't want to commit to a subscription plan of anything, and you're welcome to do that. And I'm going to select pay per use here. And as you can see, the pricing appears for pay per use, and that is $35 per HTS number. How will you pay us? You can either complete this area here and provide your credit card information, or you can click Invoice Me and we will send you an invoice covering the pricing of your request. And down here, we probably should have put that in the beginning, but I thought it would be interesting to place it at the end, that before you actually submit your request, you also construct a username, a password, and here you confirm that password. And I'm going to just make up something. Johnny B. Password 1234 ABC, and put the same thing here, 1234 ABC. And when you're all done, just click submit. Okay, and what you notice is you get an error message that tells you that the passwords do not match. So, which is interesting, you have to be very careful here. ABC 1, 2, 3, 4. Submit. Okay, and what we're getting here are validation errors. It says here that there are 3 fields that require correction before the form can be submitted. And that's interesting because I chose fax here. Let's choose email, and I'm going to actually provide an email address, abc123@yahoo.com, and I chose email. And let's look to see where else we're missing. Date of request, let's select June 10th. Here it's telling us the passwords don't match. So let's do this. Let's recreate the password, and we're going to call it Apples 1. Apples 1. And so you notice that once the passwords match, you get a green check mark. So you've gotten to see a little bit about how the tool is used and what happens if you make an error or you miss a field. So this was a great example. So I'm going to go through my form once again and make sure that I have indicated everything that I wanted to indicate. And if I'm satisfied, I'm going to click the submit button, and you get a success page that shows that your form was successfully submitted, and that includes our demo of HTS On Demand.